guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shayna if you're new here, and I'm a mom of 4 who's currently on a weight loss journey using a GLP-1 medication. This is going to be my week 2 update where we're going to go over all the symptoms that I've had, any results that I have, and what I'm planning on doing for my week 3 coming up. If you're interested in hearing how I did in week 2 and interested in hearing about what week 3 might bring for me, please stick around and we'll get right into it. So I know there's a lot of people here on the channel possibly that are just thinking about starting a GLP-1 medication, or maybe you guys are on the same week I am or a week behind or in front of me, and you want to kind of compare your journey or what your journey could be to someone else's that's on the same medication that you're on. So I take my shot on a Monday, and for my second week I took it on the left side of my abdomen, which I'm gonna put some B-roll in here so you guys can see me injecting myself with the shot. For anyone that's not familiar with what the GLP-1 medication is, it does come in this little tube. I'm currently on the 2.5 milligram of Mounjaro, and I took it on the left side of my abdomen, and you press the purple button on the top and it injects it. So if you're nervous about needles or anything like that, because I definitely was, which is why it took me so long to get on this medication, don't be. So if I had to describe the size of the needle, it's like a tack. Like one of those little tacks that you'd put into like a little cork board, that's the size of the needle. And the fact that you press the little button on the top and it goes right inside and you hold it for a couple seconds, you barely even feel it. The only thing that I feel like I've changed, and because of what I've seen on YouTube, is as you're supposed to refrigerate the medication, I refrigerate it. But when I know I'm about to take my shot, I take it out like a half an hour, 45 minutes before I'm going to inject myself, because I've been told, based on other people's experiences, that it burns a little bit more when it's cold and you can feel it. So mine is more room temperature, kind of a little bit cold, but not really. So when I do inject it into myself, I don't even feel it. It feels like nothing. And sometimes I will get a little bit of blood, as you'll see in the paper towel that I hold up. You get a little bit of blood, but that just means to me that it worked, that it went in. So if you are nervous about a GLP-1 medication and the needle, I would say take a deep breath and don't be, because it's really not as bad as what we think a needle is going to be. It is not one of these big needles. It is very, very tiny. Just look at a tack and think, okay, I can do this into my chunk with a little tack. Okay, so if you guys saw my week 1 journey, you guys saw that I start my shot, or I take my shot on Mondays. Today is Sunday, so I'll be taking my next shot tomorrow. But last week, just a quick recap of last week, my symptoms were that I was super tired. I wasn't really feeling like the medication was working. I didn't feel like I was not having food noise, as people call it, or I felt overly full. I also had a strange one for me, which was having a really dry mouth and a dry throat and kind of a cough, and I was feeling like I was getting sick or losing my voice. So I am happy to say that I think like 90% of that, the bad ones, like the tiredness and the dry mouth and the sore throat and all that kind of stuff, kind of went away. So I wasn't tired at all this week on week 2. I didn't have any like exhaustion more than normal as like a mom of 4. Didn't have any of that. My throat and my dry mouth has kind of gone away. I would say it's like 90% gone. I don't wake up with a sore throat. I don't wake up with my throat feeling dry. I do continue with my cough drops. I keep them in my bag just in case. And I'm not having any coughing like fits because of a dry throat or a dry cough or anything like that. So I'm actually really happy about that. Something that actually has been happening though, that's continuing from last week, is I'm still not feeling that kind of like fullness that I hear everybody talking about, that they say that they can't eat or they have food aversions or anything like that. So I know the medication is working because I'm going to trust the process, but I hear people talking about they feel full, like if they eat a huge meal or something. I'm not feeling overly full to the point where I'm getting sick, which I guess is a good thing. I'm also not having any food aversions, which I also am guessing it's a good thing. But it does still make me think, like, does this medication work for me? Is it working in the way it's supposed to? Or is my body just kind of getting used to everything and I just feel normal? Because I can say for week 2, I have felt pretty normal. It's just, I have been making better food choices, because of the fact that I know I'm taking this medication and I feel like I should be making better food choices on this medication. And that has been very helpful, and I think it's helping in my progress on the GLP-1. But it's just, I guess it's a good thing. I'm just gonna stick with it's a good thing that I'm not having food aversions or I'm not getting overly full, and I'm able to finish my plate of food. So for an example, last night I went out to dinner. It was my mother-in-law's birthday, so we went out to dinner, and I decided to have steak. The steak came with, obviously the steak, a big double baked potato and some asparagus. So I chose to not have that double baked potato, and I asked if I could have a side of broccoli instead. So I'll put a picture in it somewhere, one of these sides, where I had my steak, my probably about 4 or 5 sprigs of asparagus, and probably about a cup of broccoli in place of that big potato. So consciously, I know I'm making better decisions, because in the past, I would have had that whole potato. I would have put cheese on it. I would have put bacon bits on it. I would have had the whole thing, and it would have been delicious. And I would have said, it's a celebration. Let's eat the food, right? This time I'm being a little bit more conscious, and I'm like, no, let's not eat all of that. You have goals. Janet, you have goals, and you want to hit your goals. So let's make better food choices, which maybe that is part of the medication working for me, right? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. All right, guys, now for this week's results. So as you guys know, I started off my GLP-1 journey at 205.8 pounds, okay? That was not the highest I've ever been. The highest I've ever been, like I said last week, was 210, and that was in January of 2025. So starting my GLP-1 journey, I was 205.8. Last week, I weighed in at 200.2 pounds. This week, the end of week 2, I'm back in the 100s. Obviously, I only had 0.2 pounds to go, but that means I did lose. I went down, guys, to 197.6 pounds. 197.6. I am in the 100s. I lost a couple pounds this week, and I don't even feel like I tried that hard, which I don't know if I like that, because if you stop using the medication, is it gonna still work? But I digressed. Okay, 197.6. That means I have a weight loss of this week of 2.6 pounds and a total weight loss of 8.2 pounds, guys, in 2 weeks. 8.2 pounds in 2 weeks. I am very, very excited, and I am very happy that I've been able to do this. And I know I've done it by also with the medication, but also making small changes with my diet, and like getting rid of that baked potato and adding some broccoli, not having the rice and putting some salad on my plate instead. I know I've made those conscious changes, but I've also know it's the medication working for me. Even though I'm not feeling like super full, or like I have food aversions, or people say food noise, I still feel like I have that food noise. I've been able to lose 8.2 pounds in 2 weeks with this medication. So I am very excited to see what next week is gonna bring for me. And I hope you guys stick around to see that too. So what's next for me now? Week 3. Am I gonna do anything different for week 3? I do my injection tomorrow. I'll probably let you guys see that next week too, but my injection's tomorrow. I think one thing I have not been doing is monitoring my diet or my food on like an app, or kind of writing all my calories down or my macros down. I think I'm gonna go back to using an app that I did use in the past when I was losing weight, and that app is called Carb Manager. I'm used to Carb Manager. Some people like MyFitnessPal and other apps like that. Whatever app is gonna work for you, I would encourage you guys to join me in using an app to monitor your food and monitor your macros and your calories and all the things. I like Carb Manager because it allows me to kind of say how much of what food that I want to eat. Right now, we know that when you're on GLP-1 medications, you need to eat a lot of protein, because you don't want your body to eat up all the muscle that you have. You really want to maintain as much muscle that you have. So I think I'm going to go for like a high protein type of, I don't want to say diet, but like way of eating, I guess I'm gonna say, a high protein way of eating. And I'm gonna put that into Carb Manager, and it's gonna help me out figure out like, what am I eating? How many more carbs do I have? Much more protein should I be taking in? How much fat should I be taking in? It's gonna help me with that. I think that's gonna be the one change I'm gonna make in this week. I'm also gonna be working a lot outside of the house this week. So I think I'm gonna have to do some meal planning, and I'm considering just using that Carb Manager app to do my lunch meal plans and my breakfast meal plans. I'll have dinner at home, but I'm gonna use that app to help me plan out what I'm gonna eat for this week too, because I'm able to put all the numbers in there, the food in there in advance, and it will tell me exactly how much it is that I'm gonna be eating for the week. So if you guys are interested in seeing how my week 3 goes, I would encourage you guys to like this video so I know that you're enjoying my content. Subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a video. Click that bell, and I will see you guys next week. All right, have a good week, guys. Bye.